The scene then shifts back to the locker room, where Jin is finally suited up in a real bodyguard outfit, and he looks seriously badass. Evening has arrived, and we find Diane and her grandpa together. The old man asks her if Jin is still out with friends. In response, she explains that Jin had to take care of something and said he'd be a little late. The grandpa is concerned, saying Jin shouldn't stay out too late. He's sure Jin will be fine, but if he runs into any trouble with hooligans late at night, it could be a problem. The next scene shows the two defeated soldiers who were getting pretty cocky before fighting Jin. They're now getting an earful from their superior, and everyone is feeling ashamed after getting their butts kicked by Jin. The senior is so livid his veins are practically bulging, and he makes it crystal clear that they're about to face training like they've never seen before. The soldiers' faces fall when they hear this, and the senior lets out a sigh of relief that they didn't get chewed out by their boss today. Meanwhile, Yona is absolutely blown away when she sees Jin stepping out in his bodyguard uniform, looking like he's about to hit the town for a date. Even Jie is really pleased to see him, and those defeated soldiers can't help but feel a bit jealous of our boy. As we head outside the building, Jin and two other guards are escorting Jie. There are several other guards as well, making sure she gets into her luxurious Bentley without any issues. Once she's inside, the guards follow, while Jin stands outside until the senior bodyguard tells him to just get in the car. With that command, Jin takes a seat in the back alongside Yona. Once inside, he notices how two guards are always at Jie's side. Out of the blue, Jie asks our boy if he's ever thought about singing or acting as a career. She explains that one of the SW subsidiaries she runs is an entertainment agency, which is where they're headed right now. Jin, however, simply states that he's not interested. She then asks him why he's interested in becoming a bodyguard. As soon as our guy hears this, he realizes these folks probably don't know the real reason behind his involvement, so he just goes with the flow and says he wanted to experience life as a bodyguard. She then gives him props, saying he's pretty good at this job. Judging by how well he did in training today and how easily he beat the guards in Team 2, she's impressed. But when his bodyguard hears about his Team 2's defeat, he's absolutely livid, turning red with anger. He's embarrassed to get reminded that his team got trounced by a high schooler. On the other hand, Jin points out that he only won because Team 2 let their guard down. They had to hold back because he's just an inexperienced kid, so he had a greater advantage from the start. If they had taken him seriously as a real opponent, he's pretty sure he would have lost both duels. The woman acknowledges the situation, but deep down, she thought Jin would be more boastful about beating working guards. Turns out he's not like that at all. Meanwhile, the bodyguard is blown away by how our boy has thought through everything so well. A while later, they finally reach their destination. In that other SW Corporation building, we see she's sitting in her office, while our boy and the senior bodyguard are standing outside. The senior is amazed that after standing there for an hour, our boy hasn't even flinched. So out of curiosity, he asks where he received such intense training. Our boy simply looks at him and stays silent. The senior asks again where he picked up those moves from the sparring session, because this isn't something you can just pull off by luck. In response, Jin just says he learned on the streets where he grew up. This vague answer really ruffles the senior bodyguard's feathers, who wasn't expecting such a brush-off. Well, his answer wasn't too far from the truth. The scene then transitions to his past, showing how he really did learn these skills on the streets. We see him running alongside his buddy, while a hail of bullets rains down from behind. He's climbing ropes to reach the treetops in harsh weather and facing off against highly trained soldiers and killers. But he never flinches. Once they head out again, their car zooms down the highway. Jie asks if he's feeling alright since it's been a long day. He says he's fine, and she finds it odd because it's his first day on the job for this line of work. But he confirms once again that this is indeed his first time. Meanwhile, the senior bodyguard reflects on how this is typical of our boy. He hasn't asked a single question since they started the route, and hasn't shown any signs of being affected, even when they deliberately skipped dinner to test him. It's as if he's fully aware that these things can happen in security work. He never budged from his position until he was instructed to do so. Suddenly, Jin notices something serious up ahead. There's a truck coming, and the driver inside looks either drunk or sleepy. It's hard to tell. What is clear is that the truck veers out of its lane and heads straight for the car Jin and Jie are in. The truck skids across the road and crashes into their car. Once the car comes to a stop, the bodyguards from the other car rushes over. The airbags have deployed, and the senior bodyguard quickly checks the back seat, asking if Jie is all right, and what he sees there blows his mind. Jin has managed to hold Jie close, saving her just in time to avoid the worst of the crash. The bodyguard is amazed that Jin could react so quickly and protect her in that split second before impact. But then Jie yanks herself away from Jin and creates some distance. The other bodyguard rushes to her, asking if she's okay. The other guards quickly gather around to discuss what just happened. One of them reports that the truck driver was definitely drunk. The junior guard adds that the driver appears unconscious, and they're currently pulling him out of the vehicle. The senior guard tells everyone to call an ambulance, secure the driver, and make sure to get to the bottom of this incident. Meanwhile, inside the car, Jie looks at Jin, who's sitting quietly. She's startled and asks if he's okay. Jin simply nods in affirmation. But Jie points out that he might have been hurt and suggests he should come with them to the hospital to get checked out. Instead of responding to this, Jin reminds her that she should always wear her seatbelt, even when sitting in the back seat. Seems like this is not what she was expecting to hear at such a critical moment, so she has no clue how to respond to this brutal truth bomb.